Back in 2014, I feel I can talk about this more openly now. I was deep in the forest, many days, many weeks. Many months. And this voice that shocked, for whatever it was that was there, was appearing, was existing, into a complete annihilation. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the old story again, but it was a voice of colossal magnitude, incredible, not inner, not outer, in every aspect, it was so powerful. That's all I can say. Now the point of this is, what took place to that was obviously there, whether it was an empty mind, whether it was an empty body, whether it was an empty self, something experienced it. And that what experienced it was the result of this voice destroying it. In the destruction, in that mass hysteria where everything ran for cover. But there was no cover, you see, because it was all over. It was everywhere. So that what attempted to run for cover, not being this body, possibly the mind, possibly ego state, simply fell into it. Now there's two things I want to talk about that may interest you, that may raise something to enhance the whole experience. Not my experience, not your experience, but the whole experience of what is taking place in every moment of every day, in every century, in every universe, in every planet. There is something taking place. The two things, one thing is this. It was the result, for me, the body and the mind, which took many years to find its feet on the ground again, find its place in the body and the mind, balance itself out, whatever it was. Whatever it is that takes this shock, this impact, this colossal smack to the whole of what existence is, into what Yuji Krishnamurti calls a shock, and Eckhart Tolle in a very similar situation calls an awakening. What was experienced from that moment is still experienced now. Not in the magnitude, but in that trembling. When we have an explosion, there's a point of explosion, and there's this kind of tremoring that eventually fades. But of course this cannot fade, you see, because it's all over. Wherever you go, it is. And what it is simple. Is the understanding of the shock, understanding of the voice, understanding of the magnitude, understanding of the power. And what it did was it connected everything. It connected everything by revealing a powerful shock to reveal where it went to, and it didn't go. to an end. It simply just fluctuates. And what I call this to myself is, there is only one thing. There is only one thing. This thing may be a thing or it may be a no thing. But there's only one whole. And this one whole is oneness. There's no disconnection. There's no separation. I have a mind now that returned to its old state, where it can make separation. It can say, I am different from the laptop. The laptop is different from the table. The table is different from the room. The room is different from the outside. Yeah, that's what we create. That's our conceptual ideas. That's what we invent for ourselves to try and make this life more fluent, more easier. It doesn't really work, but at least we're trying. The mind is trying. It's very trying sometimes. And David Bohm, that great philosopher, says the problem is we try too much. The problem is the trying mind, the mind that tries too much. Anyway, that's another story. So this, when recalled, this shock, this voice recalls me, the mind, every now and then to say, remember, it was one. There's not a systematic brain in operation with little workers saying, oh, call him back again. There's something that is deeply, deeply ingrained within each one of us. And all this voice does is it takes you to the beginning and that recollection of the truth that everything is one. Now, that's a very simple way to describe it for me, the body, the whatever I am thing that sits here and projects some sort of feeble way to describe something that is beyond what we imagine, beyond what the mind can discover. So one of the things that may be liberating for science and religion is whatever it is so powerful it is undiscoverable. So therefore, why waste time trying to discover that what you truly, truly know, but you truly, truly don't know the whole magnitude of what it is. Second point, very simple. What was the voice? What was this voice that said 2 words to destroy everything? 2 words, 1 moment. 1 moment. Describing all of this. This 1 moment and its oneness. You're not separate from the 1 moment. Nothing is separate from the 1 moment. All the planets, the stars are included in this 1 moment. The galaxies, the cosmos, and all the viruses and all the things that we experience, all the actions, all the thoughts, the imaginations, the fantasies are all incorporated in this 1 moment. So there's no separation. But we have a mind that can create separation. We can create division, we can create boundaries, we can create free will, we can create choices, we can create all these wonderful things that many intelligent mind thinks are truly wonderful. What is truly wonderful is all of these things that the mind thinks it loves is not the sole thing. Because within this 1 moment there are infinite possibilities, infinite minds, infinite states of form, infinite states of planets, infinite states of universes, infinite states of experience, infinite states of consciousness. We are presently experiencing human consciousness. When the shock is revealed, you experience that pure core root consciousness that is ingrained in a point within every single living form. What was the voice? That's when the mind wants in the action, you see. That's when this mind, this ego, started to rebuild itself and say, oh, well, what was it? What was it? Was it God? Was it spirit? Was it a universal voice? Was it self? Was it a chemical imbalancement of the brain and it's just a load of nonsense. Spirituality, religion, science, and New G Krishnamurti is right. It's just a biological accident where we appear and we disappear, and we are controlled by some sort of society. The investigating mind wants to know what it is. So therefore, when you try and share what it is, you have to use a word that is recognized by the investigating mind, external mind and your mind. This investigating mind knows words like Brahman, God, Absolute, knows words like consciousness, knows words like Spirit, Holy, knows words like emptiness, the abyss, joy, Sat Chit Ananda, knows all these words, human, form, spirit, soul, angels, demons. So what was the voice? None of these. None of these. It is a voice of oneness. It is the voice of that moment that oneness took birth. It is the beginning place that Rumi speaks about. There is not a thing that sitting somewhere up in the skies or within your body that said, okay, this is who I am, and I'm going to tell you what it is. Because when that takes place, there's two. There's either God, the voice, there's the self, there's the guru, and you, the one receiving the voice. There's no separation between the voice and you. There's no separation between what you make words of identity as God, Brahman, demon, Satan, Absolute, angel, religion, science, form, name, mind, quality. There's no separation between all these created conceptual ways and the whole of an infinity. Everything is immortal, with mortal experiences happening within it. And that's all I want to say. So to name this voice is to create separation between you and the voice, between you and the world, between you and God, between you and nature, between you and the devil, there is none of these things that exist solely or individually. There is only one. And that's the feeling that remains in the body. Whatever it is one. And I'm not separate from this one. I'll never be separate. No one is separate from this one. This oneness has no opposite. We can become dual. The mind helps us to become dual. So there's me and the voice. So we can speak like this. And we understand each other's language like this. But the true language is silence. It's just the experience. It's just the experience of being here in oneness, as one. And this is whole. And whole is truth. The whole truth. And nothing but the truth. So help me. I'm not saying the last word. But I will for all you religious people. So help me God. Namaste Om.